Vailonu, okay, נעשה ברחמן אביח בעזרת השם, פרשת קורח, פרק ז'. ואילונו על משה ועל אהרון ממחרת. They start to complain. They start to complain on whom? On Moshe and Aaron. Why? Then on the next day of what? After the whole balagan. After what happened to Korach, that the land swallowed him. Actually, we're going to see now that not only for those who say that he was burnt, and then, you can say for Shema to whom? Sorry, let me. Okay, Refuah Shema to Sarah Khan.
Sorry, Khan, Ken. Khan.
Bat Chava Machsha. Okay, B'ezrat Hashem. רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש ודאגו בעזרת השם בתוך שאר כל עם ישראל. Okay, so עם ישראל start complaining.
Also,
Yeah.
Sorry, also רפואה שלמה to יצחק בן שרה גיטל.
יצחק בן שרה גיטל, רפואה שלמה.
תודה רבה.
אוקיי, בתוך שאר מלכי ישראל בעזרת השם, לזכות זרה שמשון. Sorry, דני?
יצחק בן מרים also.
יצחק בן מרים, משה חיים בן מרים. בעזרת השם רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף בעזרת השם. Anybody else?
Yes. Yeah, thank you. We'll say Hinda bat Sarah Razel.
Hinda bat Sarah Razel.
Okay, and also Elisheva bat Yehudis Razel.
Elisheva bat Yehudis
Razel. Yeah,
Razel. Can I add one? Shoshana bat Iran.
Shoshana bat Iran. So, מה קדם ישלח להם לרפואה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש, רפואת הגוף, וזכות, the learning we're doing now, זכות זרה שמשון, וזרע השם ישלח להם לרפואה שלמה מן השמיים, בתוך שער כל אחד מישראל בעזרת השם. Okay, so, as we said before, so Am Yisrael started to complain when, we're going to see now, when, after all everybody got they got smitten, the 250 Rashi Sanhedrin, they were the top, they were the top in Am Yisrael. And Korach came and bribed them. Korach, let's say, says, Vaikach Korach. That's why the Pasuk says, Vaikach Korach. It says the Yenuka, I read this week. And the Yenuka says, so the Pasuk says, Vaikach Korach. Vaikach means he took for himself. What did he take? He took with money. It's a kicha misledei efron. It's a whole learning, but the idea is that he bribed those 250. He bribed the Tamaviram. He had the whole group. He had a whole miflaga. A whole group of people behind him. All he was feeding them nicely, bribing them nicely, and whatever. He had his contingency against Moshe and Aaron. Anyway, so those 250. Fire from Shamayim came and burnt them all. Korach is machloket, but Korach and the others, right, who started to rebel against Moshe and Aaron, they got what do you call this? They got swallowed. They were swallowed. Now the day after, Machorat, he said, "Vailonu al Moshe ve'Aaron mimachorat." The next day, Am Yisrael started to complain to Moshe and Aaron. Why are you killing everybody? You're killing everybody. What's going on? So what he says, look what he says here. Atem hemitem et Am Hashem. You're killing the whole of Am Yisrael. Right? You're killing people. Second paragraph, second column. קשה. ומאחר שראו בעיניהם כמה אותות ומופתים שעשה משה והמשפט אשר שפט את קורח ועדתו, איך מלאו את ליבם לחלוק עליו בדברים הללו. So Zera Shimshon says a very incredible question. He says, what's going to complain? How can they have the chutzpah to complain after seeing how Moshe and Aaron, especially Moshe, he brought in the mishpat, he brought in the din over these 250 and the whole Korach and all of his families, everybody around them. They all swallowed alive. how can anybody start complaining about Moshe? It's such a clear decision from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that Moshe is the emet, the Torah emet, and there's no way of complaining and trying to bring him down, Chas Shalom. So how can they start complaining about him? This is the question. What were in their minds? What were in their minds that they started to complain? What about? So it says like this. Ve'ishomar. Okay, so he starts asking. The question will be what the answer? Yeah, will be answered a bit further along. Ve'ishomar. שתלונותם הייתה על 250 איש שנשרפו על שנכנסו להקטיר קטורת. Where was their complaint on? Because there were two groups, correct? One group was the 250 that were burnt alive. Esh min hashamayim, the fire from heaven came, and like a lightning rod, yeah, hit them all, and they all died. Or the other ones which were swallowed by the land. So they complained about the 250. Why did you kill those 250? They want to bring Ketoret, correct? These 250 said they all wanted to be. What was the idea? They all wanted to be. It's ridiculous what they wanted to do. They said 250 of them wanted to be the Kohen Gadol. They were competing with each other to see who HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to answer. 250 of them. One of them was going to be the correct one, not those 250, but each of them, and there's still the only one that still came, right? So they came to bring the Ketoret, to bring this incense. וזה הקטורת לא עשו אלא בדבר משה, שאמר להם זאת עשו. Who told them to do this? It was Moshe Rabbeinu. It wasn't HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It didn't come from Hashem. This was Moshe Rabbeinu who planned this. Okay, planned. And Am Yisrael started complaining. This didn't come from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This came from you, Moshe. והוגשה להם. It was hard for them, for Am Yisrael, for those who complained. והוגשה להם, מה הייתה כוונת משה ליתן עצה ל-250 איש? What was the kavanah of Moshe to give this advice that these 250 Rashi Sanedim, the very top of Am Yisrael, to bring the Ketoret, Kedesh Yamutu? It was Moshe's idea to say, okay, you bring Ketoret, and it was a plan. Moshe Rabbeinu prepared them. They fell into the trap of bringing. They all should come and bring the Ketoret, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu finalized the day. ובשמע אם היה אומר אף לדתם ואבירם שיקריבו הקטורת, הייתי אומר שכולם שווים בחץ, וכולם חלקו על משה ונבואתו או על כהונת אהרון. So if I would have said, for example, that Moshe Rabbeinu would have said, okay, Datam ve'Aviram, we know those 250. There's also Datam ve'Aviram, which were the two that always complained against Moshe Rabbeinu. They were the two that spoke Lashon Hara against Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu almost died because of that, and he had to run away from Mitzrayim. So it was Datam ve'Aviram who caused all this. So if they would have also been told, okay, you also bring Ketoret, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't tell them to do that as part of the trap. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't do that. הייתי אומר שכולם שווים בחץ וכולם חלקו על משה ונבואתו. I would have said, but then everybody has the same chetz, which is basically arguing on Moshe Rabbeinu and his prophecy, או על כהונת אהרון, או against אהרון. והדין נותן להמיתם או לגרום להם תחבולות כדי שימותו, כדי יגיע בשולחן ערוך, you יודע. So the din is, the halacha is that if you have somebody who's trying to rebel and cause a rebellion, so the halacha is you can bring him down. Yeah, you can kill him. The bed din, right? The bed din, or even Moshe Rabbeinu. It's put on the Shulchan Aruch. What did he say? Shulchan Aruch Yoredea, says like this: Zera Shimshon, ha'apikorosim, those who interpret the Torah in a different way, not in no normal format, and they say that the Torah is not min hashamayim, and they say no, this halacha is not part of the Torah, etc. That's apikoros. Vehem otam shekofrim b'Torah, they're the ones who reject the Torah. Ubenevuah miYisrael, and also any prophecy that comes from any of the prophets of Israel, mitzvah lehorgam. It's a mitzvah to kill them. We don't give them chances. It's very tough, huh? We don't give them any chances. Apikorosim. Im yesh biado koach lehorgam, besayf befarhesia orgam. If they have, the Bedin has a certain force to kill them, so they would do it with besayf. Besayf is with a sword. With a sword. Befarhesia, in public, then you do it. V'im la'av, and if you can't do that, right, for whatever reason, like what happened here with Moshe Rabbeinu, right, he didn't put them all together. V'im la'av, yavo be'alilot, ad she'yisavev haligatam. So then make a trap them in a way, and this is what Moshe Rabbeinu did. He came and he trapped these 250. He said, you want to see who's you're complaining that we are not dividing the positions, allocating and the positions of Kehuna and the Leviim and this and that. Everybody, so you're complaining about that. You're thinking that it's within our circle, the family. You're complaining about that. So now at this point, they are. Moshe Rabbeinu is planting a little plan, a trap, whereby come, let's do tomorrow. We'll come with a ketoret, and and killing them in that way. Be'alilot. Okay, ad kan lishono. Aval ata. But now, Moshe lo amar shedatam ve'aviram yaktivu ketoret. Here we didn't say that Datam ve'aviram should come and do the ketoret. Moshe Rabbeinu only said it to those 250, but not to Datam ve'aviram. Ela ha-250 ish in Korach. Right? Who were the ones who started with the ketoret? Those 250. So the two groups, Moshe Rabbeinu divided them. He didn't put them all together. יש סברה לומר שיש חילוק במי שחלק על נבואתו של משה למי שחלק על כהונתו של אהרון. So there is those 250 and Korach and Datam Aviram, they were all complaining. Each of them complaining. Korach and Datam Aviram were complaining against Moshe. The 250 were complaining on Aaron. They wanted to be the Kohen Gadol, like Aaron. So you might start saying there's a difference between the rebellion of this one and the rebellion of this one. ולפי שה-250 איש לא היו כל כך חוטאים, those 250, you might say that they didn't do such a big sin. Why? שהרי לא חלקו על משה ונבואתו, רק על כהונת אהרון. So they came and they complained, which was bad, but not as bad as complaining against Moshe Rabbeinu and his prophecy. They came and complained against Aaron. The kehuna is a position. It's a position. It's not the position of the king. Moshe Rabbeinu is like the king and his nevuah. So they're complaining about that. They're rejecting his position and his nevuah. That is total rebellion. That is very chamun. As opposed to the 250, that they complained, they also rebelled, right? But the rebellion is not in such a high level. They're not as bad as complaining against Moshe, but complained only on Aaron. כהונה. כמו שכתב מהרש"ל, פרק חלק. מהרש"ל says this. שומחי לא היו חייבים מיתה כדתם ואבירם. They didn't have the same punishments. That's why they had different punishments. The 250, they died by fire from Hashamayim, because they the din was, they were complaining against Moshe Rabbeinu and the Nevuah. ואף קורח, אף על פי שחלק על משה, היה לו מקום להינצל לפי שאינו הטעתו. And Korach, right, according to this opinion, and Korach, he also didn't die. We'll see if there's Machloek, but he didn't die with Esh. Why? It's incredible how we analyze and we see the emet, what's going on here. Korach complains. He became jealous and this and the other. He said that's mine. That should be mine. What about me? What about me? I'm the eldest of the family according to the way Moshe Rabbeinu is dividing. So I should be able to. I should be getting this position. So Korach based his machlokes. You have to understand. We're talking about big, very, very high spiritual entities, which were Korach had Ruach HaKodesh, and he saw in his Ruach HaKodesh, he saw Shemuel Hanavi. He saw that Shemuel Hanavi comes from him, and he comes from him. And he said, wait a moment, if he comes from me, so that means I am going to be alive. Nobody's going to die in my family. That I'm right. Then I'm right. I know his vision. Twisted his mindsets, and therefore he was basing all the machloket because of this vision. So his chet was bad, but not as bad. Understand? In other words, we see that kazechut, so to speak, right, to a certain extent. So therefore, his chet wasn't as bad, right, as bad. Aval, Datan ve'Aviram, now on the second page, Aval Datan ve'Aviram, chalko gam al ma'alot Moshe bezadon u'pesha. But Datan ve'Aviram, they came and they complained against Moshe Rabbeinu with a lot of venom, with a lot of being wicked, mamash wicked against Moshe Rabbeinu. And so therefore, from here you understand there's three levels. In Datan ve'Aviram, they were the worst because they do it mamash bekavana and to be mored and to bring him down and whatever it is. Then Korach was the instigator, but his instigation was based on his prophecy that made him mistake. Why? Because he died, but his children, he didn't see that. His children did teshuvah and they were saved. Even though they fell into the thing, they did teshuvah because who brought them out? Which you're going to see now. So we see that Korach did sin, and therefore he even though he complained, he rebelled against Moshe Rabbeinu, and that should be bad, but it's not as bad, right? Because he had a certain reason for. ולקח כתיב 250 מחטות ואתה ואהרון. That's why the pasuk says 250, the ones who are bringing the incense, ואתה ואהרון, you and Aaron, משה אהרון. ודתן ואבירם לא הקריבו. דתן ואבירם didn't bring it. לכן ה-250 איש לא נענשו אלא בשפת נשמה וגוף קיים. So the 250 men, they were punished in what form? בשפת נשמה וגוף קיים. The ash that came to them burnt their neshamot, but not the guf. Special fire, not the physical body. The physical body were all intact. Not everything came ashes. אבל דתם ואבירם חטאו בכל גופם ומאודם. Datan ואבירם, they came and they they sinned with all their might, all the physical bodies and all might. Because of that, their entire bodies, everything was swallowed in the ground. וkorach עצמו, what happened to Korach? Korach עצמו, יש אומרים, those who say, שלא נשרף אלא נבלע. He was only swallowed, not burnt. כי לא חטא כל כך, אלא שטעה בשביל שראה שושלת גדולה יוצא ממנה. The chet of Korach was not such a big chet. Why? Because because he foresaw that Shemuel Navi was going to come from him. Therefore, he thought he was right, and that caused him to. If he wouldn't have seen that, he wouldn't have on what is he going to hold himself by? No, maybe not much, and therefore maybe he would have retracted himself. But he didn't do that. He saw whatever he saw. The vision was correct. But obviously, the children were going to follow it up, and not him. אלא שושלת גדולה יוצא ממנה, אלא שמת במגפה. Korach, he died from a plague. Then he was swallowed. He was also swallowed. No, Korach, sorry. שלא נשרף ולא נבלע, sorry. Korach was not burnt, nor was he swallowed in. Chidush. That's Budon Gemara. Sanhedrin. What happened to him? Corona. Corona worse than Corona. Some magifa, some type of, what do you call this? Plague. ויש אומרים שנשרף ונבלע. Those who say, yes, he was swallowed and he also was burnt. Because at the end of the day he was the first one who started up the machloket. Because if it would have been burnt and not swallowed, so then the complainers, right? The ones who what do you call this? Who were swallowed, they would have complained, right? Because Korach was the one who started the machloket. Therefore, he wasn't swallowed, and he wasn't burnt. He had a magifa. וכן אם היה נבלע ולא נשרף. Same would have happened if it would have been swallowed and not burnt. היו השורפים מטעמים. The other 250 would have also complained. In other words, either way, Korach was somewhere in the middle. So, therefore, he wasn't burnt and he wasn't also swallowed in the ground. Rather, he had a magifa. ולכן, no, second paragraph. ולכן, ביום הראשון, so then now what happened? So, okay, this is what happened. Each of them had their own complaints. Punishment. The next day, ולכן ביום הראשון, the first day after all this incident, היו מסופקים בסברה זו, אבל לא נתרעמו. They were not sure why Korach was punished in this way, the 250 burnt, and the ones who started machloket swallowed by the ground. היו מסופקים בסברה זו, אבל לא נתרעמו, they didn't complain, משום דאפשר נמי לומר שכולם היו חייבים מיתה, אלא שדתם ואבירם, הואיל שהרבו לפשוע, לפיך הייתה מיתתם יותר חמורה. So the ones who complained, the ones in Am Yisrael after all what happens, so they didn't complain the first day because they said, listen, they all had to die because they all started to complain. They agreed on that. And Datam v'Abiram, because they really were wicked and they really mamash rebelled against Moshe Rabbeinu, so then their death was much more on a worse level, yeah, much more חמור. אבל ביום המחרת, but the next day, שראו שבני קורח ניצולו, but then the next day they see that the children, the sons of Korach, they were saved. So then wait a moment, then everything became a balagan. Then everything got mixed up. Wait a moment, what happened to them? ניצולו וסבורים היו שניצולו לפי שלא היה להם כל כך חטא. Wait a moment, why did the children of Korach got saved? They didn't know they did teshuvah. They said, כנראה, the חטא wasn't such a big חטא. The sin wasn't such a big sin. שטעו בסביבתם אביהם. Because they only, the children went after the father. Yeah, okay, the father had a problem with the vision, right, with the prophecy. So he was, okay, so his chet was less. Now the children, kibudav, it must have been really tough. I think the Midrash tells them, they didn't know what to do when Moshe Rabbeinu came to visit Korach and to make peace. So the children didn't know if to complain, to go with Korach or with the father, with this. They had an issue there. You understand? They had an issue. So they didn't have such a big chet. Let's go back again. שראו שבני קורח ניצולו, when they saw that the children of Korach were saved, וסבורים היו, the Am Yisrael, when they saw this, so they saw, wait a moment, שניצולו, how comes did they got saved? לפי שלא היה להם כל כך חטא. They didn't sin such, the sin wasn't so bad. שטעו בסביבתם אביהם. Because they said, כנראה, they went after the father. That's why it's not like a shlita. It's not a shlita. The father's doing that, so they want to support him, not because they really believe like that. נתרעמו על משה ואהרון לפי שנתנו העצה לקורח ול-250 איש להקטיר קטורת. So then they started complaining to Moshe and Aaron because they were the ones who gave to Korach and the 250 this etzah, this advice, not advice, but the competition that Moshe and Aaron, or the trap that he made to these 250 and to Aaron and Moshe, in order for them to say it. So they start complaining. In other words, if it wouldn't because of the plan that Moshe Rabbeinu, they wouldn't have sinned so much. It wasn't such a big sin what they were doing, and therefore they complained about why did you kill those 250 Rashi Sanhedrin. The Bishlema, we know in the third paragraph. The Bishlema hashta shemetu 250 ish. It's a case when we understand the word shemetu hamatim, that the 250 died. Af shelo haya lahem kol כך חטא, even though their sin wasn't so great. גם קורח צריך למות עמהם, אף על פי שיש לו להתנצל לומר שאינו עיתתו. Korach also had to die with them, even though, as we said before, he had an excuse because he saw in his wrong prophetic vision, right? He saw okay, but he didn't see the whole picture. So he made a mistake because of that. So there is a way of excusing himself, right? והואיל שמת עם השרופים, צריך שימות נמר עם הבלויים, כדי שלא יטעמו. In other words, והואיל שמת עם השרופים, because he died with the ones that were burnt, because they were the ones who complained against Moshe and Aaron. צריך שימות נמר עם הבלויים. Korach should also come and die with the ones who were swallowed. So he was swallowed and burned down. Kedei shelo, we're now in the last, the second column. Kedei shelo yita'amu, אמנם, אם היו ניצולים, 250 איש, however, if the 250 would have been saved, מטעם שאין להם כל כך חטא, because at the end of the day, the chet wasn't so bad. It was, but it wasn't that bad compared to Korach. Or the others, אז גם קורח היה ניצול עמהם לפי שאינו היטתו. In other words, they complained, the ones who complained against Moshe and Aaron, on the next day. So they saw, wait a moment, if the children of Korach, the children of Korach, they're still alive, that means they didn't choteh, they did not sin so much. They didn't sin so much, the degree of sinning wasn't so great. Therefore, the reason why those 250 died was because Moshe Rabbeinu pushed them into that thing. If Moshe Rabbeinu would have done that, so nothing would have happened. And Korach, also we see that his sin wasn't as bad. This is what Am Yisrael were thinking. Korach's sin is not so bad because his vision, it was twisted vision, prophetic vision, right? שאין להם כל כך חטא, אז גם קורח, even קורח, היה ניצול עמהם, would have also been saved, לפי שעינו היטעתו, his prophetic vision made a mistake. ולכן אמרו להם, אתם המתם. That's why what were the words that they used? Am Yisrael, the ones who complained, not everybody, but the ones who complained of Am Yisrael, atem, you came and killed. You killed mamash. They complained, kilomar. Sevivatam lahem amita shelo kadin. You planned, you made a trap to these 250 in a wrong form, right? In other words, they shouldn't have died. You should have given them, their sin wasn't as great, and therefore that was their complaint. That was the complaint. That was the Zera Shimshon over here is explaining why did they complain. First of all, we said at the beginning it's a chutzpah. How come is it that they complained after seeing the 250 being burnt and also Korach and the Magefa and the Tam ve'Aviram? How can they come and they complain against Moshe and Aaron? Can see he's the one who's is in his side. So the complaint was that Moshe and Aaron could have saved them, and they caused them to die, which is not true, because we explained that their chet was merida on Moshe and Aaron, and therefore they have chayamita no matter what. But they saw it in a different way, and that's what the Zera Shimshon is now is explaining here. So what we do learn from here is the idea of accepting the Gadol Ador. Accepting Gadol Ador meaning when not to cause any rebellion, within the realm of when you have a leader of Am Yisrael saying something, so you should accept it now. Obviously nowadays, we were thinking actually, I was Dafka de Shabbat, I was saying, who's the Gadol Ador nowadays? Many years ago it was Avshach. Then when Avshach passed away, it was Rav Eliyahu. Then Rav Eliyahu, then was Rosh Taiman. So now it was Rav Edelstein, Rav Gershon Edelstein, right? And now he's not here. So we see that there's like less and less Yedolim Kevechol. We have Tzadikim. There's always 36 Tzadikim here and also in Chutz Haaretz that maintain Am Yisrael Kevechol. There's always 36 constants. But Gadol Hador, where people will come and subjugate his words, and everybody will say yes, will accept whatever he says. We see in this day and age that we don't really have, for the moment, we don't really have somebody who really everybody would accept. There's always politics and this and that, but when Rosh Time was here or Rav Gershon So Hashem said, everybody accepted. And also the Sephardim, Ovadia, right? And Shalom Cohen. So within Sephardim as well. So B'ezrat Hashem, who always brings a certain Gadol somewhere along the line where we know B'ezrat Hashem will come and lead Am Yisrael. But whatever it is, we shouldn't rebel, kavechol, or complain against that, because it's chamur meod. So, okay, B'ezrat Hashem, we finished a bit earlier today, but the idea is there. Okay, so B'ezrat Hashem, we'll B'ezrat Hashem meet on Wednesday, B'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach. Okay?
B'ezrat Hashem.
B'ezrat Hashem.
Thank you
Take
very
care.
much.
Amen. Take care.
Shalom,
Have a
shalom.
great evening. Thank
Amen.
you.
Shalom, shalom. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.